Okay, so the next portfolio is Attila. I don't know how to say your last name. Ishai from Germany. Very cool. Very cool. Portfolio. Let's read things here. The goal is to become a environment artist, and you're stating it right here. That's great. I didn't do this in the last portfolio, but I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to your about section. I'm currently looking for work as an environment artist / 3D artist. Finished game art course. D. Montfort University. Leicestershire. Graduated 2020. Nice. Attila, who are you? Attila in chat as well, or let me know who you are in chat. But Exile says hello, also from Germany. You want to be an environment artist, and these are looking. There you are. You are Attila in there. Okay, cool. So right off the bat, I'm seeing some really strong images. The thumbnails, I'll say, they're lacking mainly because they're not consistent. You've got a kind of odd looking font that you're using. Ottoman era assets. I assume it's related. The font type with like the theme, right? I would not put the text in there, and I would just let the assets speak for themselves, unless you come up with like a brand, like Ottoman era kit or something like that, right? And you put it somewhere on the side. The reason I'm saying that is you want that consistency in your portfolio. You have to think about your portfolio as like a it's like it's not only a portfolio, but it's like your brand, right? So the way you display your thumbnails is kind of like your branding, right? So looking at the Unreal logos, those should all probably be in the same spot, the same size, just so they're out of the way. I would argue you don't even need an Unreal logo. You could put UE4 in the corner there, but I think you could let your content is strong enough that I think you could let it like read on its own, right? So let's look at this robotic arm really quickly here. There is something I'm feeling about this. What is that? I mean, the robotic arm looks cool. These like arm things are really interesting. It's the cardboard boxes. The depth of field is a little weird. It's kind of shrinking the asset, right? But it's the cardboard boxes and the fact that they're fragile. No, I'm just kidding. It's the duct tape is freaking massive. So everything is, I'm getting like the sense that the boxes are actually this big. And with the combination of the depth of field, the whole thing just ends up shrinking, right? So it feels, yes, nerdly. It does, or nredly. I don't know. I think I'll just go with nerdly. I like nerdly. It feels like a miniature. Like maybe it's part of a stop motion scene or something, right? Materials look pretty cool. There's some differences in the roughness, which is nice. The dirtiness here feels a little arbitrary, or like not logical. Redly, all right, Redly it is. And I'd be it says Amazon on there, so you've got real branding on here. If you ever need to put branding on that's like 4 letters, just put Maru, Maru. He will thank you and shower you with gifts, like the king, the emperor that he is. But yeah, so you've got these boxes that feel a little strange on the scale, dude. Even this piece right here makes it feel like it's supposed to be bolted to a table, and I just feel like it's really small. That is so weird. It needs an element on there that kind of shrinks it. Like if there was some emergency stop button or some like small label you're supposed to read. It's not a cult. But the presentation is pretty cool. Materials are on point, and it's just a scale issue, I think. Oh, there is some signage there. It's just really small. These cables kind of rest a little strange. Like they feel like they don't have any weight to them. Oh yeah, the rotating is quite strange for sure. I agree with that, Fox. Uh, you want it to rotate in the middle point there, and it kind of feels like it's rotating a little off from that. You could also just lock the middle down and actually rotate the arm itself. But I think we're focusing on this asset a little too much. This was 10 months ago. We got this old aircraft gun. Looks pretty cool. 2 years ago. So you're changing the order of your assets. I actually don't think this one's very strong. There's some details like this, the surface detail that's happening here feels like detail normals that aren't tiling enough, if that makes sense. So I'm having a hard time understanding what the material is. Whereas this one's 10 months ago. This one is stronger than this one. And this one was 2 years ago, which I think that would make sense, right? That would make sense. Oh, you've got Shokri's got a link. I'm gonna put this link in your post, Attila, and I will link that to you afterwards. If anyone has any useful links that they feel are relevant to someone's portfolio, and you drop it in chat, I will paste it in their post on here, and then they can go and grab that link. But yeah, let's keep going here. So this is 4 months ago. This is a quick task to experiment with cloth, simulating the folding animations of Marvelous Designer. I learned a lot during this task, modeled in 3ds Max, cloth simulation, animation in Marvelous Designer, texture and substance painter, rendered in Marmoset. That is a great looking asset. There is some really nice material work going on here. The modeling is really well done. The ratio of detail to areas of non-detail is super nice. You want to have like, this is high frequency detail and this is low frequency, right? You want your low frequency to be at about 70% of your image and high frequency to be the other 30%. And oh my gosh, when it folds back, oh man, that's so cool. Dang, dude. Dude, that's awesome. Wow. Look at those little tension lines in there. Oh my gosh. Oh, and it's not even mirrored. Oh, dude, so cool. I think if I had to comment on anything, it would be that everything is so blue. I would love for like maybe the straps to be like this color, or like the white of the text, or the white that's here. That white is like the third color, right? You have your main color, which is the blue, and then this like metal and this dark metal. I would kind of put those in the same category. And then you have your third, which is this white value. If that white value was maybe on the button here in the middle, or on the strap, like shoulder pads, that I think that would be really would look really good design wise. Oh, is that strap white? That strap's white. Dude, just make the other one white and you're good. It looks really good though. This is a really well done asset. Let's see what we got. So it's 4 months ago. So now you start getting into your environments. Ooh, these are really like low frame rate GIFs. I think seeing these first is hurting this piece. I would actually remove these. Man, that camera is all over the place. Like it's, I don't know, like, where am I going? What's happening? Making sure that your camera doesn't make someone sick, as well as like the frame rate is high enough, is going to be key. Like this shot, this looks awesome. This looks really cool. There's a certain stylized aesthetic to it for sure. But it all seems to be working together. Drunken sailor on the camera, guys. That's funny. You guys are funny. Hopefully Attila's laughing. Don't cry. Oh man, Shokri. I will not read that. This scene's pretty cool. There's some scale. So the big thing I would note with this is the reason I felt like it's stylized. This shot is sick, by the way. Is there is some weird scale stuff going on. It is a little dark as well. I will agree with that, Bikes. it's very, the scale is strange. Like these lanterns, for example, like getting a character in there and just understanding the overall scale of each asset is a big deal. It's the difference between why video games and movies look so different from each other right now. Is scale is not really representative, right? We make doorways really wide because gameplay wise, it just is better that way. But if you make the door correct, it'll look nice, but you're going to get people complaining about your doors all the time. And collision, yeah, collision's another thing. But I mean, this shot here is really cool. I think it is all about the scale and the definition of your surfaces. That back wall is kind of going against the theming of the material work that you've done in the rest of the scene. Whereas like there's these edge highlights to kind of illustrate the carved wood look, but those edge highlights are not met with other edge highlights that are similar or consistent with the rest of the scene. I can't tell if this is wood or if this is like a molded metal type of material. And yeah, the resolution on the ground feels a little low for me. I think you could solve that by having a tileable wood grain material for like a detail normal, and you just tile it across the surface here. Steam game review getting stuck every time. The doors. Screw those developers. Yeah, you gotta be careful about that, man. And be really careful with these camera movements. These are like, ugh. I guess I know you're trying to make it really dynamic, and I would just commit to like just showing what you're trying to show versus like making it look cool. Your asset should be able to look cool in its own right. Oh, Fox, don't be that harsh, man. He's like, I think I'm gonna be sick. No, it's fine. It's fine. Wow, we're just getting into this one. Okay, we got 12 minutes. We're good. We're good. So this one's a year ago as well. This looks pretty solid. The thing I really like with scenes like this is that there's such a variety in the materials, right? The materials have different roughness values, different albedo colors. That each surface is telling a story when you start to build stuff like this. Fox is just kidding, and it looks really nice actually. Good save, Fox. When I look at this, again, I think I'm getting scale issues where the paint cans look quite big, especially this like spray can up here, and the cardboard box has a really thick material to it. Like there's no way that company would stay in business, right? Because the cardboard would be just too expensive to generate that many cardboard boxes. Again, though, it might be stylized. It might be the direction of everything. And when I look at everything, it kind of has that feeling. Like I almost feel like the posters and the paper on the wall, like the newspapers and the pictures, should just have a thickness that's closer to how the cardboard is. The floor feels very strange to me. What was is that painted concrete? Feels way too rough. So that's another thing, and or like how it's worn down feels a little strange, like the mask for that. So I think understanding your surfaces and your scale is something that seems to be popping up quite a bit. The car looks stylized, and the thing that's sticking out to me about the car actually is the fabric is really stiff and rigid. I mean, I know this is a year ago, right? Where's you did this one 4 months ago. Can you imagine what you could do with your knowledge here on the fabric that's covering that vehicle? Like there's so much awesome that can be had now. But propping wise, so I like your propping. There's some boxes that are clearly like, why is this like 45 degrees? Looks marvelous. Why is this 45 degrees when it could be straightened out and just against the wall? And then maybe the one on top, which is maybe would be a little lighter, or like a lighter box, which would lead to it being more rotated. Stuff like that. So there's a little extra layer of logic. But I think the main issues I'm seeing is the scale. everything feels a little chunky, a little extra beveled, a little stylized, or like hyperreal, where containers are bigger than you would expect them to be, or handles are bigger. Definitely get a character in. What we should do is we should make a character like the one in Unreal, but separate the hands and have a sitting version so that you can see what that character looks like sitting in the chair, pushed into the table, right? Or like the hand reaching for a doorknob, or putting the hands on the table, or reaching for a cup, or those poses. Those are going to help you understand your scale much more, and that's going to make your scene that much more real. Nice. This guy, there he is. There he is. See, this place feels very strange with him in it. Like the scale feels really odd. Like the wheels, for example, or like the size of the signs on the wall, or I don't know. I guess I need to see him. Yeah, it's very Pixar. I'll agree with that. These materials look pretty cool. It's a little noisy, but I like the amount of texture on the paint, where it's like peeling and chipping away. These look nice. Again, there's a lot of character going into your material work, which is nice. That tire feels like you got like a first pass on it and didn't get to do this type of love to it, right? You didn't get that extra layer of polish on the tire material. This looks good. I would say that you're probably pushing your normal maps a little too often with every detail. Like these marks here, you could probably not have those in the normal and just allow them to be separated through a roughness difference to the surface itself. But yeah, I appreciate all the breakdown in here. That's nice. Let's check out this helmet. So this is 10 months ago as well. Looks cool. Looks like a helmet. Looks like there was a lot of research done on it, referencing and all that jazz. I think when it comes to the goldish type patterns, I would kick that gold up a little bit, just so it's got that shine. Right now it's a little bit there. I think you could get that to pop a bit, and that would be really beneficial. Let's see if I can. Let us see. Yeah, the white edge wear on the top. Yeah, if you could break this up, or maybe have it happen a little bit more on the tension points and calm down a little bit up here, that would go a long way. We can just dupe this. Let's just blur, do a Gaussian blur. We'll just say that's cool. Actually, we'll do it the cool way. We'll convert it to a smart object, and then we'll go filter, Gaussian blur, hit OK, right? So now the Gaussian blur, oh, I need to hide my camera. Hang on here. Now the Gaussian blur is actually editable, where I can go in and change it. It's not permanent, right? Let me cancel that. Let's take this. Let's set it to screen, and then we can go back to here and kind of tune this bloom effect that we're doing. Lower it down so it's happening just enough, maybe somewhere around there, and then add a mask, right? Add a mask, invert the mask, and then like tap those areas where you want those highlights to happen. And like now it's popping just a little bit more, you know? Yeah. Cool. I mean, this asset looks pretty good, and I agree with what they were saying in chat. With that blur, now you want, oh, come on, Fox. Yeah, this just feels like it wasn't tuned enough. I mean, you can go with the default, and then you just paint away those types of consistency, so it becomes a little bit more organic. I'm gonna look at this asset as well. So this one actually feels a little on the low poly side, and I think it's just maybe it's the resolution of the texture, or it's the way how it's beveled. Keep an eye out on that stuff. This was 9 months ago. The materials look like the differences between everything is pretty nice. These feel like they're floating, like they're just not grounded on the surface. That can be, what is this, an Unreal? Yeah, it's Unreal Engine. You might need to turn on contact shadows if the shadows just aren't helping you in that regard. It doesn't feel like the ground is receiving much shadow though. There's a little bit here. And yeah, and there's some shadow here. So maybe your ambient also is really bright. Watch out for bright ambient. It'll hide your shadows. And then we've got this scene. What's going on here? Oh boy. Let's see, we got the auto going on. Let's just correct that here. Dang, this looks really nice. There's a lot going on in there. I would say if you slow your camera movement down by half and lower the amount of times you're fading in and out, like for example, this shot, it's almost like you could have it happen a few frames forward, like here, and use this as the way to transition between shots instead of fading out and fading in every shot. This scene's impressive. There's a lot going on in here. Camera movement is definitely better. There's a lot of fading in and out though. Seeing like, why did it fade out there, but then come back to this one? Usually having a camera that moves around and like dives and dips. Oh, I need the camera for this one. I just noticed it. So usually having a camera that does this and then goes up and then down, and you want to be really careful about those. What you want to be doing is usually going from A to B. You want to do a side pan, right? At a consistent speed. You want to do like from top to bottom. Look at the way directors like frame shots when they're presenting a new space. Now, minus all of that, because there's a lot of fading in and out and a lot of scene action going on here. Your renders, I imagine, are probably pretty sick. Yeah, these look pretty cool. This is getting lost a little bit back there, but I think it's the nature of the materials that are present. Boy, there's a lot happening in here. Oh, dude, so cool. This is a quite well done scene. The scale is probably the best that you've shown so far, and it's really about finding a way to balance these really busy materials in a way where it's not too busy in your face, right? Oh yeah, see this ceiling? That's sick, man. Your attention to detail and the roughness and how the wood has worn is really, really nice. Oh boy, dude, that's so cool. Yeah, this looks great. This is definitely this is 5 months ago. Mm-hmm. The trim sheet. You know, watch out for the I do this all the time, where you hold down the shift key for too long, you accidentally get another letter capitalized. What? No way. That's really interesting. That is really interesting. There's got to be more reference involved with this. But man, what a sick scene. I mean, you went with this, right? And you're like, all right, yeah. And then we need to find some more reference on this. Really, really powerful. I really like that one. Yeah, that's really cool. Dude, this guy creeping. Did you see that? Hang on. Where'd it go? This one. 3 to 4 pure refs. Nice, dude. Yeah, it's a really strong portfolio though. Well done. Well done indeed. I I would say remove this one and if you had to remove another one, maybe the pirate ship one, and then move these two props to the back, right? So you have all of your environment ones here. This is Ottoman Turkish coffee house. I would actually take both of these and put them in the same kit or in the same post. In the Unreal logo placement, like I was saying earlier, remove the Ottoman texture text in there and just put that Unreal logo in the same spot every single time, and you'll be a much more consistent thumbnail set. But I mean, man, looking at this stuff, you should be able to, especially with this last one, you should be getting contacted at least for some type of contract work. I'm not sure how, like, what you're doing with your socials, but getting your name out there, and despite what some people will think, having a LinkedIn with some good keywords in there, as Ola would say, or Ollie rather, would say, just be active, be posting work, be active in Discords, be present, let people see you, and someone will grab you. And keep working. I mean, this one's 5 months ago. I think you're bound to be looking at getting paid for this stuff if you aren't already. Very cool. Very, very cool. Anyways, thank you for sharing your portfolio. And we're going to get on to the next one. All right, guys. Peace.